All right, guys, over the weekend we had a little pullback. Friday all the way through this weekend, we kind of bled down into this Sunday. I know a lot of people are kind of caught off guard by this. I'm not going to say that I wasn't or was. I was kind of expecting a dump right after the FOMC. We did get it, but then, shortly later we did get a pump back up. And I know a lot of people got probably fooled into that trap. Over the weekend, we entered in a long on Zora, so right now that one's not doing too well, guys. But I still think the markets are going to try to find a bottom within the next couple of days, and then we'll start to strategize what's next. I think the problem is with a lot of people and even investors and traders is that we get caught in trying to time the market. But at the end of the day, if most of us were expecting a pullback, here it is. But the big problem with a lot of retail investors is that they continue to try to time the bottoms. And just an FYI, that never works out, guys. These Wall Street whales, they know exactly, what we're trying to do. And most of the time, if not all the time, it never works out in our favor. So the best thing to do at times is just to wait, pinpoint our entry, take a trade that is with low leverage or, not a lot of risk capital that's going to hurt you. And then if we do start to go down, DCA down, or wait for a confirmation on a bounce to enter a trade and just kind of hope for the best. I know that's probably not what most seasoned investors and maybe skilled traders would say that's the right thing to do. But I might argue, guys, that we've been really successful in our group and doing really well in our journey with crypto versus a lot of these other old school crypto guys that claim they know everything. But at the end of the day, guys, look, nobody knows anything. We're on the journey. If you truly believe that crypto's over or it's a scam or you're getting tired of it, then why are you watching this video, guys? Because 90% of the people, if not maybe 99.9% of the people that watch Jumpman already know what it is. We've been printing cash. And for the most part, if you guys have been following pretty much everything to the T, not everything, you should never follow anything that I do 100%. It's always great to have your own strategy. But if you've been kind of taking my guidance, you should be in net profits, even with this little baby small pullback. I see a lot of people that are freaking out and stuff like that, but a lot of the coins that we've talked about are still doing well. So it's just part of the journey, guys. You have to take the good and the bad, and we are going to start to strategize for season 2 with a new set of coins, with some over migrated from the season 1, but we want to look at some other coins and hopefully find opportunities elsewhere. That way we can take money, compound, and make more money, and more money. So with that being said, guys, make sure that you guys are subbed, locked in with your boy Jump. I don't know if YouTube is trying to suppress me, but I feel like a lot of my videos aren't getting a lot of views like they should. Actually, my last one was really good. So if we can keep that momentum up, we can actually overthrow the YouTube lords that are trying to suppress you boy Jumpman Crypto, because we are really trying to help people out here. We're not trying to rug pull people or just try to get people to sign up for Patreons just to, look at you guys as a source of an income. I'm actually out here trying to help people. I keep it real. I try to answer every comment that I get. And, so please, if you guys can, share my content with friends and family and always show your support to the plebs community. With that being said, guys, let's cover some of this crypto, man. So, again, we had Friday, the triple witching. This was derivatives and options and stuff like that were expiring. Fell on a Friday, and so it was basically kind of like a triple threat. I really didn't think it was that big of a deal, to be honest with you guys, but I do think the whole rate cuts was a sell the news event. Then you had Chairman Moran, that was saying that he doesn't think that big rate cuts were necessary in the future. Maybe that kind of spooked markets a little bit, and then we still have other economic data that we're expecting later on in the week and the following week to kind of solidify if we're going to be getting more of these rate cuts, or was this just a mercy cut that we got from Jerome Powell? At the end of the day, it's not really great to guess, but we are positioning ourselves with, some better entries, and we're not just trying to ape into a lot of coins. We're trying to just DCA in. If the markets pull back, then we should have capital. Remember, we were talking about, having a game plan in our last live stream. So you guys have dry capital, you have some money saved up. That should be a great time for you guys to start looking for some of these coins. Not financial advice, but also making sure that you guys are, coming up with your own plan too. So let's take the time to look at a few of these coins. So first coin is Arkham Intelligence. if you guys do some fact checking on my channel, this was actually one of the first coins that I actually cemented my YouTube career on. If you go back from where I was talking about it to where it is now, is massively down. And you know, it's still a great coin. It has a few great good crypto communities that are still talking about it, and I think it has the opportunity, maybe not go to an all-time high, but I think us expecting at least $1.20 to $1.80 later on, maybe October, even November, wouldn't be out of the question if we get this proper altcoin season. So you may be asking, Jump, well, where could we be getting in at? Well, the last time I talked about it, it actually dipped below where the buy level is at. So I did actually make a purchase today on Arkham Intelligence. I put a few $1,000s in there, not a lot, just a little bit. And my plan is to make, you know, maybe a 2 or 3x on this cryptocurrency. And, you know, look, this is kind of a little bit against of what crypto kind of stands for. You know, this is an anti-privacy coin kind of. You're able to kind of track wallets and stuff like that. And you know, look, some of the stuff that these cryptocurrencies, you know, they stand for, we may not agree with them. You know, some of them sometimes, you know, with stocks even as well, people get too political. You know, for one example, like Target and stuff like that. I have a lot of people that are like, well, I don't agree with, you know, this company's politics or whatever. Me, I'm a little bit different, guys. I'm here to make money. At the end of the day, guys, I don't really give a dang what these people do. If it's something that's a blue chip or it's an actual solidified cryptocurrency, you know, I'm looking at this just from an investor standpoint. So, you know, Arkham is still a great token. It's used by a lot of, you know, wallet trackers and stuff like that. And it's even exchange as well. So I still think that this thing has at least the ability to go to 1 billion once we do get back up into the, you know, hopefully a good alt season. If not, if we get like a bare minimum alt season, you know, this thing could do maybe a 2 or 3x. So, you know, definitely worth keeping an eye on. And there's this particular crypto community that is a big backer, supporter of this cryptocurrency. So not financial advice. I would probably recommend you keeping this at least on the watch list. If you guys are trying to be a little bit more technical, guys, and looking for a better entry, I think anything below 59 cents would be ideal. Again, guys, you know, I'm not saying that it's going to go there. It's not that far below it anyways, but, you know, if you want to DCA down to that level and maybe set some bigger orders down there, definitely, you know, could be a good possibility for you guys to catch Arkham on a dip, okay? The next one we're going to cover is Virtual's Protocol, another coin that we did talk about on the last live. Look, at the end of the day, we are just simply trying to make money. This thing was at $5 last year in December, okay? So I think, you know, around the time of, again, third quarter, this last, you know, stretch of months, we will see AI and AI agents resurge again, and this could be a great possibility for you guys to scoop up virtuals on the low, and you could probably rocket this thing up to at least $2 to $3. You know, look, I'm not saying it's gonna go there, but I think it's a great opportunity to make some quick cash. You could even do a leverage trade on it, guys. And if you guys are looking for a leverage trading platform to use, you already know your boy's rocked up with PHEMEX. And if you guys aren't down with VPNs and you're just trying to be lazy, which I always recommend you use a VPN, guys, you can use BenuX. My preferred exchange, again, guys, is PHEMEX. And if you're looking for any links of those, they're going to be below in the description. But again, you could use 2 or 3x leverage on virtuals, potentially ride this bad boy back up to the $2, $3 mark, make you a nice return. And hey, man, you could pay something off, you know, with it or whatever. Not financial advice, of course. You know, and like I said, if I'm gonna stick with any type of AI agent or you know, or AI coin, you know, I'm gonna go with the big dogs. And virtuals, you know, is the big dog. You know, you can go with AI, XBT, but for me, I'd rather go with virtuals. It's backed by base. I think base, if they do come back and they have this, you know, massive run up, you know, Aerodrome, you know, Zora, you know, Morpho and virtuals, all in that base, you know, bunch right there are going to do really well. And you know, your boy Jump loves base tokens. So I think that this is worth at least keeping on the radar. If you guys are looking for some buy entries, guys, look, we covered them last video, but I think Personally, anything under $1.20 is going to be a good buy zone. We could dip back down to 89 cents. If it does go there, I would be throwing the kitchen sink at it, okay, guys? And then the next token is going to be Chainlink. Guys, I exited out of my Chainlink position around $27. I bought at $11, $12, and even $13. We called this back around summertime, in the beginning of summer, around springtime. And I took some profits on it. It was running up a lot. It started to cool back down, so now I am interested in getting back into this coin. I'm actually looking to see if maybe we can get down maybe to lower 20, maybe even $19, and I would be putting more in, but I am currently DCAing slowly back into Chainlink. I think that Link is the most bullish cryptocurrency. If you guys are looking for a nice blue chip crypto to add to your portfolio, Chainlink definitely is going to be the one. You know me, I like AVAX. I got a lot of AVAX, but you also want to just make sure that you have a little bit of utility, with other coins to have them as well as a hedge. You don't want to have too many small caps. I think a big problem with some of the people out here that I met, they got nothing but meme coins and low caps. So whenever we have pullbacks, your portfolio is going down 30, 40%, while mine's is only going down 4%. So keep that on your radar. Next one is going to be Solaire. Solaire actually came down a lot from when we talked. I think it came down 2 cents. It didn't come down a lot, but it came down a good amount. And this is another example of like virtuals. It was at $3.40 back in May. Now we're at 50 cents. So again, I'm not saying that it's going to go back to this level, guys. I'm going to try to be realistic as possible. I think maybe somewhere along the lines of maybe $1.50, maybe even $1.70 is in the cards. But kind of looking back, I talked to you guys about parcels, Camino, a lot of these other coins, they've all had really great pump ups. I think this is a play right here. So I've been DCAing inside of Solaire. I don't have a lot of money, but I have enough money to that if something should happen, I'm not going to be, left homeless in the street. So this is probably a really good play. I'd probably refer to this as like another parcel / Camino play. So keep it on your radar. Remember, guys, if you need to find out how to buy these things, I've talked about this many times. Get CoinMarketCap, get CoinGecko, and you guys can actually go in here, hit markets, and it'll tell you about all the places that you can get it. It recently got listed on Coinbase, so it's on all the normie exchanges. It has a pretty decent small of a market cap and a lot of price potential to the upside. Alrighty. A few extra coins that I want to give to you guys on the radar as well is going to be Beam, BeamX or Beam. This coin is going to be on PHEMEX, and I'm not sure if it's on BitNewX. We can check it out real quick. I think it should be. Yes, it is on there. Great. This is a gaming token. Gaming has not been doing well, but guys, I think this is the opportunity to start trying to front run the narrative. It's down a lot from its all-time high, so I think it's really, really possible that look, we went to 4 cents. Back in December, we are 0.0078. So you guys can do the math for me. I'm not going to do that. That sounds like it's pretty good within maybe a 5 to 10x from there. Look, I would be more comfortable shooting for at least 2 cents. I think that's very doable, especially if gaming comes back, guys. I can tell you one thing about the gaming sector is that when it fully comes back, it can go into the billions. Now, one thing that I can tell you, the games that are on crypto sectors, man, they suck. I think the only good game that I've ever played was Heroes of Mavia, but it was like kind of a rip-off game from Clash of Clans. But, look, we're here to make money. I think that this coin could at least do a 3x. I try to give most conservative outlooks because I think one big problem with other influencers is that guys give you these crazy price points and then they just don't ever meticulate. So, just keep that with a grain of salt, guys. So the price right now is 0.007868. I would probably just, look, keep some stuff on the radar. Maybe if we go down, 5%, 6, 7, 8%, set some buy orders down below. But it already looks pretty oversold. So like I said, I would start, within that realm area, at least get yourself positioned up. Yeah, we could come down more to 0.007426, but instead of just, waiting on the sidelines, take a position now, DCA down. That way, if it does go back down there, you are ready to capitalize on the move. Another coin too I want to talk about is Render. This was a coin that I've been, I've been acting a little spoiled. I want to scoop this up down here at 365. It touched back close to it around, September the 15th. Honestly, I didn't have an alert on there, so I think I may have missed that opportunity. But I'm keeping this next level on there is 387. If we break back below, I will set the alert at 380. And maybe if we can get back down here to 368, then that would be great. But Render still has a lot of room to go, guys. Look, I talked about this in my last live. I think that we can get back up here to the 850, maybe even $9 by the end of the year. That would be a nice, 2x, 2.5x. So definitely, don't fade Render. I know a lot of the Moon Boys are going to be like, oh man, Render can go back to 20, too many coins. I don't think there's enough liquidity in the markets right now, but definitely another one that we can keep on the radar. And I'm going to leave you guys with a potential short. If the market does continue to roll, closer to the red, you guys can obviously take advantage of this. Maybe a good leverage short. Right now we have a current top at around 1,082 on BNB. If the market continues to go red, guys, I do think that we should see a correction back on BNB, at least back to 950 or $930, which would be a pretty good area to hopefully get a nice little scalp short. As you guys can see, we're getting a little overbought on the RSI. This would have been great to see this over here at this area, but there's a lot of coins and I unfortunately cannot stay glued to my computer all day. But that is a coin that is actually having a lot of momentum with it, and the reason why is because there's a lot of new coins that are launching on the BNB network. I know a lot of people have been asking me about Aster. I think that this coin could be the next Hyperliquid. I think it pulled back a pretty good amount. I'll look more into it, guys. But right now, I just cannot find myself FOMOing into a coin that just came out and ran up, 200-300% in the last few days. So I think if you're doing that, you're asking yourself to get wrecked. But we could potentially be looking at a short. We could short them down to a good level of support and then re-enter back and then maybe see if we can get a good push up on Aster whenever it does level out. But for right now, I'm in a few trades. But right now I'm looking for a short if we do continue to go more to the downside with BNB. I think this is a great opportunity to, look into. So with that being said, guys, look, I know the markets suck right now. I think eventually we will find a reversal. But for right now, the markets don't like uncertainty. And, we just continue to need more data to prove to the Wall Street that we are bullish, even though I think that, this is ridiculous. At the end of the day, we're going to turn around somewhere along the lines, hopefully this week. We just got to be patient. Guys, if you guys are looking for a community to grow to, I have the links to my Patreon, Discord below. You guys already know what it is. The ones that are in plebs already, guys, let these dudes know what's up. Let them know what's up. We're doing stuff that's on a whole different level. We are always, staying market updated every day. We have a great community. We're very active, very small group. And that's the thing that a lot of groups are missing. They're so full of people that it's hard to get one-on-one connections. We do weekly VCs. We do one-on-ones. And the thing is, guys, I'm not even trying to get big. When we get to 200 people, I might even cap it off. So we'll see. At the end of the day, guys, y'all guys stay blessed. Stay, vigilant on these markets. Don't touch too much grass. I think that in the next couple of days, we're going to reverse. And then you guys that are on the grass, try not to pay attention to the charts too much. You're going to get caught off guard. So I'm looking for a reversal soon. A lot of the indicators are showing that we're oversold in a lot of these cryptocurrencies. So let's see how things go. Y'all stay blessed. We will talk to you guys later. Deuce.